Wonderful Monday evening, August 16th, 2021. To God be the glory for yet another opportunity to experience God's grace. And so happy to see my son after a week and a couple of days. How you doing, my dear?
Good.
Yes. He's preparing to go to college in 12 days and back to dorm life, and we believe God is going to do great things for you. We are in Psalm 7, but Proverbs 16 spoke to me, and that's today's date. And whatever you do, I'm talking to any young person, adolescent, someone who's preparing to go away. Verse 3, we have heard of this. Every time we would see the CTA on our way to school, I remember in high school in the L's, do you remember what CTA stood for? Commit thy ways unto the Lord. Trust also in him. That's the T. And A is, and he will bring it to pass. So what you have to do, whether it is a field of study, a career, a major, a minor, graduate school, whatever plans, commit it to the Lord. Just ask him, Father, you designed me. What are your plans for me? Because it also says later on in verse 9, a man's heart devises their steps. They make all the plans and everything, but guess what? It's the Lord who directs the steps. So he has a destiny for us that was established before you were born. And we want to make sure that we're aligned to his will, because if you think about it, I heard something earlier today. Check this out. So in Psalms 90, it says that typically a man or woman lives 70 years. Okay? How many teenage years do you have? A typical teenage. How many years?
19, 17.
Teenage years. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's 7 years. So if we typically, man has 70 years and teenage years only last for 7 years, that's a tenth of life. That's very small. That's a tithe. You want to give those years to find out, Lord, what do you want for me to do for the rest of my life, whether that's the next 50 years, from 20 to 70. And if you ask anybody who's like 50 years old or 60, they'll be like, oh my goodness. And and it says, if by reason of strength, which is a bonus, we might get to 80. But this life is so short. So what I'm saying is, you don't want to waste your time and then you look up and be like, man, I haven't accomplished anything. Did you get anything from Proverbs 16? Well, I will keep on going if you didn't. And verse 16 is so important, because I remember I was going to have you talk to someone to get insight, but then the Lord told me, Michelle, he has to seek me, the fear of the Lord. You have to seek my wisdom. And it says in verse 16, how much better it is to get wisdom than gold, than diamonds, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver. Because guess what? The person will not be there with you in college, out of state. That person is not going to be with you. This person or that person's not going to be with you late night when you are with your friends or out or whatever. You have to have wisdom for yourself.
Say to you,
the words that you say, that they say, will have,
stick with you.
Yeah, but what word will stick with you in the nighttime hours? I'm telling you, I understand you will remember some of the sentences that people will utter, but Timotheus, this is the word of God that never changes, and it is for every lifetime, for every generation. And you'll see that it never gets outdated. Because we are now, we left Job, when you were away, and we are now in Psalms 7. And I'm not sure if you had a chance to read that, but verse 1, in thee, O Lord, do we put our trust. We put our trust in the Lord, put our trust in his will, in his word. He is our sustaining anchor when we can't reach those people who are trying to get advice from. What do you have to say about anything?
I have something to say about Proverbs.
Oh, let's hear it. What verse?
The 10th.
Do you remember what it was about? Proverbs 16:10. Let me read it. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment.
I like that because things that are said by a king, or like typically someone who embodies king-like qualities, like what they say like is truthful, and like the words are usually things that help people and that help themselves.
Yes, that's right. And who we want to listen to most of all, the words, is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And he has chosen us to be a royal priesthood. So we are special in God's eyes, and we have the privilege to know his will. And that's the promise in Psalm 16:11. Thou hast shown us the path of life, and in his presence is fullness of joy, and at his right hand is pleasures evermore. So let's seek the Lord's will. Let's seek the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and he will direct us in the way to go. All right. Know that God has great plans for you. All right. Good night.